Hello. So, as Anya mentioned earlier, so Louise Groceries is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We were founded in 2011 by Christy, who is sitting here, Christy Kitzmiller, our board president, with two missions. One, to improve access to healthy foods in Chicago food deserts on the one hand, but on the other hand, to to promote the actual consumption of these healthy foods. And so while we do retail activities, so there is a store attached to this project, while we do retail activities like the other organizations represented here, we are a nonprofit, and also we rely on donations for most of our funding. So we are located, on the improving access to healthy foods front, in December of 2012, we opened a small format pilot grocery store in the Greater Grand Crossing community on the south side of Chicago. So the map you see here is a USDA food desert map. The areas shaded orange are low-income census tracts where a significant share of residents are about half a mile away from a supermarket. So this is our building. This is our store facade. A little bit about our community. So the two census tracts on the east of us are ones in which a third of the residents don't have access to a vehicle. The four census tracts around the store, the median household income is between $27,000 and $39,000, with the poverty rate imputed at between 26 and 39%. For comparison, the city median household income for that same estimation period was about $47,000, with the poverty rate at 22%. So the store is, the storefront space is about 2,000 square foot. 2/3 of that space is grocery retail space, and a third of that space is a demonstration kitchen classroom. And we use that for educational activities. So we partner with other organizations, as well as volunteers, organizations that are focused on improving nutrition and provide education with that purpose. So we have cooking demonstrations, cooking classes, educational grocery tours, things of this nature. When experiments are going on, we also use this space to pack boxes and things like this. So the store sells fresh fruits and vegetables, meat, dairy, bread, and so other items, other perishable items that are not readily available in the community. We also sell frozen foods, so frozen and packaged groceries, as well as, soda, chips, candy, all the typical stuff you find in corner stores. So that is the supply side. So as we know, supplying healthy foods is only half of the story. Personally, when provided with both of these choices, I have frequently chosen the Flaming Hot Cheetos. And so that is where our collaboration with Anya Samek, my co-panelist, and John List comes in. So in 2011, as Christy and I were launching the store and beginning with this project, we contacted John and Anya because they have this vast experience testing behavioral nudges in a variety of settings. We contacted them to see if they might be interested in working together on developing effective incentives for promoting healthy food choice, whereby we would use the real-world setting of the store as a laboratory for experiments. And since then, we've had a very productive relationship. I'm going to talk a little bit about two studies that we've done. One funded by the University of Chicago Institute for Translational Medicine, targeting the food purchasing choices of adults. The other funded by the Chicago Consortium the Consortium to Lower Obesity in Chicago Children, targeting the food choice behaviors of children. So this adult study in 2013, so last October, we conducted 6 focus groups with approximately 6 adults to learn more about barriers to healthy food choice, as well as about what kinds of incentives might be effective in an intervention-based, in an incentive-based intervention. So we learned that cash, people said cash would be a very effective incentive. They also said that recipe cards and coupons would be effective incentives. So we kept this information in mind when designing our interventions. So we enrolled 228 participants into the study. And so The study we presented to participants as a rewards program. We called it Louis Special Rewards. And the pool of participants came from either existing customers or new customers who were brought into the store because they had received a letter that at their house, which we sent out as a recruitment tool. And so the letter said either bring in this letter and get $1 in cash just for coming in with this letter, or you can bring in this letter and have a 5% chance of winning $20. So they would come in, roll a 20-sided die. No one actually won $20. There were a lot of unsuccessful die rolls. So once they came in, we said, hey, would you like to sign up for Louis Special Rewards? And basically, we said, this is a rewards program. You get $1 in cash every time you shop at the store. And we are just going to look at what you buy. So this allowed us to track their data. We're going to just look at what you buy and then give you some coupons. So we enrolled participants on a rolling basis. So this is this year. In January of this year, we began enrolling participants. So participants enrolled and started between January 16th and April 30th. And so basically they came in. We randomized them into one of these 4 treatment groups, which I will talk more about on the next slide. And so they came in. We simply randomly assigned them a rewards card, which were pre-numbered, and we just wrote their name on the back of it. And then the next time, in the future, when they came in to shop, the cashiers could easily identify the customer based on this reward card. The customer would give the name, the cashier would find the rewards card, and then we have their unique ID. Participants received $5 cash for signing up. They completed a survey about their shopping habits, and then the next time they came in, they could start receiving their special reward. So the next time they come in, they tell the cashier their name. The cashier finds their appropriate rewards card, and then based on the color dot on the card, the cashier gives the participant, the shopper, their coupon. So the treatments we had were in the form of coupons, which we would give the customers. And again, I'll show the coupons momentarily. So they get their coupon, they do their shopping, they check back out, and then at the point of checkout, the cashier enters this unique ID number into the POS system, so it's tracked to the purchase. So we have data on everyone's purchasing over this period. So we did this between the day they signed up to May 15th, when we stopped treatment for everyone. Between May 16th and June 30th, we continued to give everyone $1 in cash for shopping, but we didn't give anyone the treatment coupons anymore. So we had a post-treatment period where we observed, so we did this intervention, we observed how they behaved, and then at the end, we had this period where we could see what purchases they continued to make after they had stopped receiving treatment. Okay. So these are what the treatment coupons look like. So those in the green, the control group, simply received a coupon that said, remember, you're in the special rewards program, you get $1 in cash every time you shop. The education group, recall, everyone gets $1 in cash just for shopping. You can buy something for 5 cents and get $1 in cash. You can buy something for $20 and get $1 in cash. So the group receiving the educational treatment received just a simple, a very sort of straightforward, practical instruction for increasing your daily fruit and vegetable consumption. So we have 2 examples here. Blue is the education treatment. The incentive treatment, on the coupon, it states, as you can read, buy 5 cups of fresh fruits and vegetables and get an additional $1 in cash. And so 5 cups is, broadly speaking, the USDA recommended daily intake. The combined education incentive treatment, we have the back and front of the coupon. So one is the educational messaging. On the back is, again, the incentive. So what did we find? So actually, Anya is still in the process of analyzing these results, but we have some preliminary things to share. So you see here that what we found was that the educational treatment by itself was not at all significantly different from the control. So the people that were not getting any kind of treatment compared to the people that were getting the educational messaging, there was really no difference in the percent. So on the y-axis here, we have the percent of grocery dollars spent on produce. So the control and the education do not look very different. Those who were receiving the incentive, the additional $1 for buying 5 cups of fresh fruits and vegetables, There is really quite, you can see, it's kind of a marked difference between the percent they spent on fresh produce compared to the control. And then when you look at the combination of the messaging and the educational messages and the economic incentive, the effect is even larger. So I think this is very instructive for policy, right? You can easily imagine, well, you may not be able to easily imagine because I think it would be sort of a very bureaucratic process, but you could imagine a program, say, where if the USDA were very interested in increasing fruit and vegetable consumption by food stamp recipients, they could introduce some kind of small incentive in the form of food stamp dollars for a certain threshold percentage of fruits and vegetables purchased. So I'm going to hurry here. I realize I'm running low on time. So we did a very similar study, which we're still running with children at the store. Children aged 8 to 14. So far we have 77 completed, 92 are enrolled, have not yet completed. Sorry, these are not very clear, but the same basic idea where we're trying to look at the snack choices of children who are aging into purchasing snacks for themselves. So the basic idea is that each child gets 8 snack credits that they can use at the store. The parent signs them up. They get these 8 snack credits they can use at the store. Each child, they pick their snacks from this neutral display, but they each get this different treatment sheet, right? And so for the control, the prices of the snacks are the same. So the way we say is like, you get a $1 credit in cash. The snack costs either 50 cents or 75 cents, and you get the change back in real quarters. So for the kids in the control group, the snacks were the same price. The healthy and the unhealthy snacks were each 75 cents, and there was no sort of branding or marketing. For the kids receiving the sort of the kid-friendly marketing, we had these little cartoon. We tried to brand the healthy snacks with some child-friendly marketing. And then for the children receiving the economic incentive, the healthier snacks are cheaper. So they were 50 cents, whereas the unhealthy snacks were 75 cents. The combined, and then again we had a combined where we have the cheaper, healthier snacks as well as the messaging, the child-friendly marketing on the healthy snacks. Okay, so we haven't. So this is just, again, the setup. They enrolled, they were randomized. We looked at what they chose. We had a treatment period, and then before and after, everyone got the control, just so we could observe the effect of the treatment alone. So the data for this is still very, very rough, and we're only just now looking at it. But I can share 2 findings with you. One is that across the board, across all treatment groups, gummy bears were extremely popular, extremely popular. We also found, however, that the incentive treatment, where the snacks were the healthy snacks were 50 cents instead of 75 cents, did seem to have an effect in that the percentage of healthy choices made by children increased. We found that the kid-friendly marketing seemed to have no effect. Okay, so finally, as Anya said earlier, we began working with John and Anya in doing sort of programming work together, but we are also currently partnering with SPY on a fundraising study, and the study is being conducted by Anya and Sally Sadoff, who is in the back here. So the study tests different asks with regard to both the framing. So we're fundraising, we're soliciting donations to improve nutrition to children in low-income families by funding the delivery of fresh produce baskets to their homes. And there are 5 different letters of the versions of the letter, and they each test sort of a different ask in terms of the framing of the message, and also the cost of the basket that is paid for by the donor as opposed to the family receiving the basket themselves. And these letters will be mailed on Monday, right? Yeah. Yeah, they will mail on Monday. Yes. Okay. All right. And that's it. Thank you very much.
How does a donor perceive this Well, that's a very good question. So whether or not donors perceive this kind of health work as a public policy issue or a charitable fundraising issue, and I think we could say that for a lot of different things that we might fund in the world. So we might want the government to be funding more of these health programs. So what we have here with this particular project that we're fundraising for is that Louise is providing fresh fruits and vegetables free of charge to families, and that's the part we're fundraising for. I think the question about how they perceive effectiveness, I think that's kind of an open question. So what we're trying to do is understand how changes to how we describe the benefits to the parents who are receiving these fresh fruits and vegetables for their family and their kids, how we describe those benefits is a measure of how effective the food will be for the parents, and so that's one thing we're testing.
Can I just speak to that for a second? I'm a practitioner, and I think the important thing to remember here is that private funding always pushes public funding. So when you can raise enough money from the private sector, that helps take public issues much further.
That's a great point. Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering whether or not you looked at the frequency of visits relative to the volume of sales per customer when people were given the option to have like $1 should they purchase something for 5 cents.
Yeah, so I can say that actually, yeah, very much so. We had this whole crew of people who, we refer to them as the 5-cent crew, who came into the store to buy something for 5 cents, and then you know that was it. They came into the store for 5 cents and got their $1 and left. So that actually, I mean, it was a whole crew of people, but it was not the majority of people. So most people, it did not seem to be the case that the frequency of visits increased. So we had this sales bump because we had this group of people who were just coming in to get $1 in cash. But then for the other people that were just shopping at the store, it didn't seem to have an effect. That they were just doing the shopping, and it wasn't that they were coming more frequently per se. Is that I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's just an interesting finding.
Right, because you would think also people I would feel that the thing you should do is split up your shopping, right? You would I'm going to buy a banana today, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and buy the gallon of milk. Yeah, but actually, and I think maybe as we look at the data further, that is something we should look at.
I have 2 questions. One is for people who are going just to buy food, what are the costs? Is it Aldi prices or Whole Food prices or somewhere in the middle?
So it's definitely closer to Aldi than Whole Foods. But yeah, no. So we the way the business model works is that it's basically a corner store model. But then because you can't buy at corner store model prices and then sell at a price that is affordable to the customers in this community. So we subsidize the produce, the meat, and the milk. So the things that are perishable and were not available are highly subsidized, and we sell them at cost, below cost actually. So the produce prices are very competitive. The price on convenience products is very standard, and then the price on say a pound of rice or something is probably a little higher than something you'd find at Joel Osco. You can't get anywhere close to Aldi prices, but yeah. So we try to make it as affordable as possible, but you have to get some margin from somewhere, and so we basically subsidize the perishable items, and they're sort of the cheapest relative to other places.
Well, okay, so now we will turn to Mike Price. So thank you, Terry.
Do the clicker.